Because in one sentence, one ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةٌ. So the believers are but a single brotherhood. We are all supposed to be, and let me put it this way, one brotherhood. So what keeps us apart? If we are one brotherhood, one ummah, what keeps us apart? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further says, وَاعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا. So right now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is again telling us, and hold fast all of you together to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, the instructions, the guidance from the Quran. And do not be divided among yourselves. And repeatedly we see in the life of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, how they put together this brotherhood. One of the things that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, that we are one body. What a beautiful and a very intricate and a deep example. We are one body. If any part hurts, then we should feel it in the entire body. So that is where we begin to understand, are we really feeling what's going on with our brothers and sisters around the world? Or we are so satisfied, we are so lost in this luxury of particularly people living in this, that we do not even know that what is happening around us. We are not even concerned, because we are concerned too much about how lucky we are, how fortunate we are. But this fortune can be taken away, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can test it by taking away or by giving it. I think those who get it, it is very tough, because we do not even realize. A case in point, just recently, now we hear, and this is for, it's not my topic actually, he can expound on it much more, our brother Dr. Hisham. Just recently, we saw in the UN, United Nations, all they wanted to know is who can raise their hand to discuss what genocide taking place among the Uyghurs. Who are these Uyghurs people? Many of us do not know. It's a group of people who were originally, people from China who were Muslims, and they have been, the entire China, they have, put them in concentration camps. Concentration camps, more than 1 million or 2 million people, all Muslims being put into concentration. And who were the people who did not raise their hand, who raised their hand not to discuss, were our Muslim brothers. 11 nations from the Muslims. They said, we don't need to. And then you reflect, why was this? Because the big brother was sitting there. He was throwing those dollars and money and everything. And now you have to keep your mouth shut, because your reliance is upon that big brother China. If your reliance was upon Allah, then like in the past, they did not care. What was not offered to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not to say this La ilaha illallah, we will make you our king. We will give you the best. We will make you rich. We will do everything for you. But stop. But he sallallahu alaihi wasallam said nothing. Nothing. He did not accept anything. And then, of course, you see how the glory of Islam took place. And we don't have to look too far apart. How many of us still remember the Rohingyas? More than 1 million people, many thousands of them have been massacred. They have been pushed away from their lands. The same culprit, and nobody knows. Of course, we collected some money, we sent some money. But then at that point, I'm bringing it to you a personal experience. It had nothing to do about me, about specialty. But the moment you start acting upon the sunnah, your reflection, your ideas, your things do change. So when you hear this hadith that we are one ummah, and if any part of it hurts, like unlike today, not only that, but our own brothers are cutting the parts and not even feeling it. Our own body parts are being cut by our own people, and we are not even realizing it. But when the Rohingya thing happened, we were getting reports after reports that there were people being sent on the boat in the ocean to perish. Nothing, no way. They were just perished on the ocean. And then, so when we hear this hadith and we see the pictures, we see what would happen if this was my family. Would I just send a few dollars? And would I just make a dua? Or would I, whenever overseas, from the people who are from overseas, when we hear either our parents or brothers or sisters, somehow we try to make it to go and feel what they are feeling, to help them out, because they are after all our own blood. And that is what was meant by the Messenger of Allah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We are one body. And so when I heard that one, I said, let me go and take a look based on this hadith. What is happening there? By Allah, my entire objective of life completely changed. Completely changed. When you see 36,000 orphans, none but those, they don't have parents. Both parents are lost. 36,000 orphans in one camp. Close to 1 million people completely uprooted and disabled. What does that camp look like? What are these people living for? You run across, and these children running around in the streets naked. I asked them, where do they live? They said there is no place for them. What they do is they roam around during the day. At night, they look upon in one of those huts or those sheds, and if there's a elderly lady or somebody, they just go stay there, and then again in the morning they're all out. This is the condition. How much money can we pay? How much can we feel? But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their trust is on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, inshallah. If they lose something on this, because the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that between an orphan and him, alayhi salatu wasalam, those who look after an orphan will be like this in the akhirah with me. Can somebody imagine that condition? Putting this together, like it's so close to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, those who look after the orphans for whatever condition those orphans are. And then how can we not be, awed by this hadith that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there is no curtain, there is nothing in between the dua of an oppressed and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So their dua, their conditions will be recorded. This dunya is ending for them and ending for us. How long do we live? It is going very fast, very fast. The same condition as that happened in Rohingya is now, to much of our information, is happening in India. Among 200 million Muslims, it's not that 2 million Rohingyas, 4 million Rohingyas, no. 200 million Indians, systematically the masajid being broken brick by brick, as it is described. Brick by brick, they are breaking in the masajid. Our sisters are being raped. With a baby in the arms were murdered and killed, and these people went to jail and they have been released, and people are celebrating where they are distributing sweets to these people that they have done a marvelous job of raping a Muslim woman. Not just one. This is the only example that came up, and so they went into prison. There are hundreds of people being raped and massacred. Genocide is going to happen, but we don't know. We have no idea. When everything happens and then thousands and millions of people get killed, then we say, let's collect some money and send it. Is that how it is? So when I wanted to see what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً, then you realize that it is not the Muslims who are brothers. Mu'min, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says mu'min. So now you try to reflect upon who is a Muslim and who is a mu'min. This is a scholarly subject. But one of the things very particularly is that the reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The mu'min relies only and only upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he develops a character of trust among the people. This is one of the ways that we can understand the mu'min. It's just like the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before even his enemies are after him to kill him and to remove him from this earth, he is migrating to another place for safety, yet he leaves Ali radiallahu anh back there because he has been entrusted with some of the affairs of the non-mushrik, upon the mushriks. He wants to make sure that that amana is being returned. Subhanallah. How close are we to being trusted? Are we being trusted in the world today? The Muslims, the moment they hear Muslims, they say, in India, it's openly, they are saying this is a cancer, we need to remove this cancer. The only way to remove the cancer is to remove the Quran from them. And this has already happened in some of our closest brothers' countries. That has already happened. They have removed many of the concepts of Islam from the books of the curriculum in Muslim countries. Now they want to remove, because India is a democracy, it's the biggest hypocrisy basically. So they wanted to remove the Quran from, and they are conducting their own worship in the masajid. They're coming up with some stone saying, oh, this was at one time an idol, and Muslims have taken over, and so they're taking over the masajid, saying that this was a temple. This is our condition in the world. I ask Allah, what is the solution? Return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask for His guidance, let us develop the reliance upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We will be, like the Muslims in the world will be thrown $1 and escape, because that is the tactic of the shaitan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very clear that the shaitan threatens you with hunger and fajr. These are the two aspects that the shaitan utilizes for people to get away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once we defeat that, inshallah, there is always hope with Islam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring back the beauty of Islam once we rely upon Him and follow the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وَقُلُ قَوْلِي هَذَا فَاسْتَغْفِرُ اللَّهَ سُبْحَانَكَ اللَّهُمَّ وَبِحَمْدِكَ أَشْهَدُ أَن لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ أَسْتَغْفِرُكَ